The water wars between the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are over a century old, and the latest revival of this bitter battle has come with the Congress government's return to power in Karnataka. The current strife is over a 9,000 crore rupee project called the Mekedatu Dam. The first proposal of this project has been going on since 1996, but it has not moved an inch. The genesis of the war is over the Cauvery river and how the waters of the Cauvery should be shared. This in itself is a long-standing and very complicated dispute between the states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka that have seen even courts intervene many times. But the latest trigger is about this particular dam. And here's how it all began. On the 1st of June, Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, D.K. Shivakumar, while speaking to reporters, talked about the project, asking Tamil Nadu to be generous and saying that work on the dam will begin. Last week, D.K. Shivakumar was in Delhi meeting the Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat to push that proposal. Today, the Tamil Nadu Water Resources Minister also met the Union Minister and soon after made it clear Tamil Nadu would not budge from its position.
We are entitled to receive water 12.213 TMC, but we have received only 2.993 TMC. That is therefore the deficit at 9.220 TMC.
As on 3rd of July.
At the 3rd of July. That is why we have kept here to approach our minister. We have requested minister to give a direction to the Central Cauvery Management Board. The Cauvery, as per the rule, the Cauvery Management Board has the duty to speak with the Karnataka. We are very stubborn. We won't allow to consent to them on that. Therefore, not necessary to go here and there.
So what is this project all about? The Mekedatu Dam project has been in the works since 1996, with the Karnataka government pushing for this dam on the river Cauvery. It was officially announced in 2013 by a Congress-led government in Karnataka. The project is proposed in the Ramanagaram district and is just 4 kilometers away from the Tamil Nadu border. The purpose of this project is to provide 4.75 thousand million cubic liters of drinking water to Bengaluru. By the way, the city of Bengaluru is short of 630 million liters of water on a daily basis and depends largely on tankers to fulfill this need. This dam hopes to address the issue. It also aims to replenish regional groundwater tables and generate 400 megawatts of power for Karnataka. Just FYI, Bengaluru is not the only city reeling from a water crisis. Tamil Nadu's capital, Chennai, has its own share of water woes. Remember in June 2019 when officials had declared day zero in Chennai as the city's reservoirs ran dry. So simply put, both states are facing a water issue. But why is Tamil Nadu so worried? Tamil Nadu is a lower riparian state, which means waters of the river are flowing down from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu. So naturally, they are worried that this dam will hit their own water supply. It's also being seen as a way for Karnataka to dominate the water supply, and there is a long-standing trust deficit between these states on the issue of water in various ways, not just on this particular dam. In fact, Tamil Nadu claims Karnataka has not released the required amount of water in the month of June. Now, is this an issue which can be solved now, or are we just going to see another round of it going on and on? And suffice to say, if this dam is really needed, will something move along? It's been 10 years since it's just been proposed. To speak more on this, I'm joined now by Vijay Prasad, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, Aishwarya Mahadev, Congress spokesperson, Dharanidharan, spokesperson of the DMK is with me. I'm speaking with Leela Fernandes, author of Governing Water in India, and Madhavan Narayanan, senior journalist. I'm going to begin today with the experts to just get their view on this issue and put it into perspective. Because, yes, it does become political every few years. And what's interesting is that the political players change depending on who's in power in those particular states. But the issues remain the same because it's actually a fight between two states. So Leela Fernandes, let me get your view on this particular dam. Is it important? Why is it needed? And is there a way that the construction of such a project can be fair to both states?
I think you touched on a really important issue in your introductory comments when you talked about both states have dire water needs. So they both have legitimate needs for both the cities as well as the agriculture areas. So it's a very difficult situation that doesn't have an easy answer. The dam itself is a problem for Tamil Nadu because, as you said, they are downstream. So infrastructure, any kind of water infrastructure in the southern region, particularly the states which Tamil Nadu borders with, becomes a political issue because it affects a river that is already overused. So the only solution really is to have a long-term solution which is more cooperative between the states, because otherwise you get caught in another decades-long fight which will head to the Supreme Court eventually.
Right, and this has been in various ways. The fight over the Cauvery has been in the Supreme Court. The Cauvery Tribunal has already put on paper how much water should go to which states, and it's shared between 3 states and a union territory. So all of that has already been going on. Madhavan Narayanan, what is, I would say, different this time round is the composition of the 2 governments in each of the states. There is a Congress presence on both sides. Of course, Congress rules in Karnataka. It's part of the Tamil Nadu government as well. It's supporting the DMK. Shouldn't that be making things easier?
Not really. Tamanna, this is very interesting. I want to draw your attention to the fact that, look, I've been covering this issue as a correspondent. The Cauvery Tribunal was set up in 1990 when I was actually covering water resources for a business newspaper, and then awarded in 91. And then the matter went to the Supreme Court because despite the award of the water, the Karnataka was not really releasing the water. So Tamil Nadu went to court and Jayalalitha staged a hunger strike. So this has been a political issue ever since. The most important point is that although it is an interstate dispute, it's a matter of prestige and pride. There have been once Cauvery water dispute has even paralyzed the IT industry in Bangalore because it's a matter of pride. It's treated the way the BJP would treat the Ram Mandir issue or something. So the problem here is, as a result of this, there is competitive populism within the state, and there have been innumerable instances of every opposition party in both Karnataka and in Tamil Nadu accusing the ruling dispensation of being soft on the other state. So therefore, this is such an emotive issue that there are only 2 ways to really resolve it, or 3 if you ask me. The first is to have some kind of adjudicatory mechanism, which is what has been tried, especially with the Cauvery Tribunal and the Supreme Court stepping in. And the way I see it, that the Supreme Court may have to step in again. The second way, now I need to bring in one very interesting point, is that when the Cauvery Tribunal was set up and awarded the water, there was no Mekedatu Dam in the picture. Now there has been an attempt to create infrastructure in the upper riparian area so that the water actually available for release becomes less. So it's like you have less of a cake, therefore you can't cut it so well. So that becomes unprecedented. And the way I see it, there is no option but for the Supreme Court to eventually step in, because politics doesn't allow negotiations. So I've been thinking of this for a long time, and the only way I can use is to have a game theory-based solution. Maybe today is not the day to discuss that.
Okay. And
the third option, which is what Jayalalitha tried, is to have water harvesting as a major initiative in Tamil Nadu. It's been talked about, but the irony is that you're talking about water running dry for Chennai and in Bangalore. At the same time, we keep hearing of floods in Karnataka and floods in Tamil Nadu. 2016 also saw such a horrible flood in Chennai that, the lakes have been taken up by residential projects. So we need to have a solution that is environmentally sound, legally adjudicable, and creatively meaningful in policy design that can actually solve the problem. Unfortunately, competitive populism within each of these states, because democracy creates a strange kind of competition between political parties. that
Right.
converts what I call a non-cooperative game situation into a non-cooperative game.
And we've been hearing that. We've been hearing that in the statement of the Tamil Nadu Water Resources Minister today. We've been hearing that in the assertions of Mr. D.K. Shivakumar in Karnataka. You know, the question is, can this be resolved because of the political formations in these two states right now? Aishwarya Mahadev, let me come to you on this part. It's in the best interest. I mean, right now, the Congress is in a very interesting position to actually ensure that there is a fair solution. Your colleagues in Tamil Nadu will be on the same side as the DMK government right now, saying that there should be no dam which reduces the water coming down from the Cauvery. Your colleagues in Karnataka right now will be saying we need this dam because Bengaluru needs water. This is where your central leadership should step in.
Good evening, Tamanna. I think the issue of water and rights of riparian states, whether it's under international law from as old as Hungary and Slovakia to now currently all across India, you see that water is such a precious commodity that one, prestige and pride, I agree, becomes part of it. But there is a certain amount of inevitability that has crept in now that if we do not fix this problem, because of political ideology or political pride or this idea of state identity, I think in the longer run, all of us are in a greater mess than ever before. Because first and foremost, both primary cities of, let's say, Chennai and Bangalore not only have massively depleted groundwater table issues, but also lack of water. There is unpredictability of storage. And the idea of Mekedatu was based on this. Yes, the tribunal originally did not talk about the idea of Mekedatu, but 2014 onwards, even the CWT itself looked at the feasibility of a Mekedatu project for two things. One, a balancing reservoir more than anything else would help replenish the groundwater that there is. And even when we did the Mekedatu Padyatra, we acknowledged one very important thing. This is not upmanship between states. This is an inevitability for the livelihoods of millions and millions, and not only farmers, but urban centers such as Bangalore. And the second is that the greatest fear of Tamil Nadu, I think it's also because of the history of bad faith, is that they believe that we will have a problem and we will block water to them in terms of controversy. But I think what Mr. D.K. Shivakumar is doing is a step in the right direction, Tamanna, because he says we will in good faith sit and talk about it. Today, the minister has gone to Delhi not only about Mekedatu, but because of one very important thing. The amount of water we have released is less. But why is that? It's a systemic problem of how Karnataka could actually be declared drought hit because of certain districts, a majority of districts, over 3,000 revenue villages not having water because of lack of rains. And when we don't have water, we don't have enough to release to them. And the larger problem is, why do we not have water is also disruptions in the ecological cycle as well as the groundwater table. So it's a cyclical problem that at some point needs a solution. I think this is the moment we have to push the envelope. I think there is no better man to do this than Mr. D.K. Shivakumar. And I'm very sure that the Chief Minister and the Irrigation Minister and the concerned ministries will be far more willing, because this is the time for cooperation and going forward to be far more sustainable.
No, but what are we seeing?
But
what are we seeing instead? What are we seeing instead? We're seeing the Tamil Nadu Water Resources Minister going to Delhi. We're seeing Mr. D.K. Shivakumar going to Delhi. Ultimately, the centre has to decide. Mr. Salim, I want you to come in on this. Is there still a concern? Because we played out what your minister has said, and he said that there's no way we're going to give in on this. Is it time to come to the table and remove this almost a century-old trust deficit? Do you see that happening, or is it too much of a political issue?
See, I think the Cauvery issue, as you know, has been going on since the 1890s. And when Tamil Nadu and Karnataka did not exist as two different states, it was Madras province and Mysore state. And then the first dam came about in 1930. And the problem has been going on since. But what does the Constitution say? The Constitution says when there's a situation in which the upstream is in one state and downstream is in several other states, all the states will have to give consensus for the dam to be built. So the downstream water flows into Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, with majority coming to Tamil Nadu. So basically, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Pondicherry would have to give permission for the dam to be built. In fact, one of the BJP member of parliament threw a question in the parliament if the dam could be built, and the reply was that it cannot be built without the consensus of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Pondicherry. But having said all that, but the BJP government went ahead with the conditional DPR. They allowed for a draft DPR to be approved, and the water resource minister, Mr. Gowda, went and said he will be giving clearance for this project, and BJP government also sanctioned 1,000 crores in the last budget. So I don't know when the law clearly says that dam cannot be built without the consensus of the Tamil Nadu government. Why did they sanction 1,000 rupees? Why was a DPR draft DPR prepared? These are the questions for which
No, but will the consent
answer.
be given? Will the consent be given if it's asked today? The last government which sanctioned 1,000 crore rupees has now been changed and replaced by a Congress government that is your ally at the state and central level. So they are saying today that trust in us, in good faith, we will sort this out. So if they come to you today, will there be consent from Tamil Nadu?
No, our chief minister categorically said that he would not allow any dam to be built in Meghalaya. The first and foremost reason is the only source that does not have a dam. There are three sources through which water comes into Tamil Nadu. Remaining two has a dam. There's the only one that has, for which water can come in an unrestricted manner. And also Tamil Nadu Congress has made it very clear that they will stand by us. Also, the Congress central leadership has remained mute on this matter. See, it's not about Congress versus BJP. I think whoever rules Karnataka, they represent the will of the people of Karnataka. So I think they represent people's will, which is the dam to be built, but it's against our interest. So the DMK government is speaking on behalf of the interest of the people
you're right. You're right
Tamil
over
Nadu.
there. You're right over
consent.
there. You're right over there that over the last several years, the actors may change depending on who is in power. But the message is same on the sides of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And here let me bring in the BJP spokesperson, Vijay Prasad. Now this is interesting because here, in a sense, you have the center run by the BJP. That is the only agency that can really intervene and move things along. On the state level, these are going to be the responses. Mr. Vijay Prasad, how do you see this working out and what should be the role of the central government here?
See, thanks, Tamanna. See, I would like to remind Congress a couple of things on the Meghalaya thing, Meghalaya project. See, when BJP was power expired in the last year, the Congress took 10 days Padayatra, Meghalaya to implement Meghalaya project. It was the same Congress who tried to implement who started this Meghalaya project sometime in 2030.
Yeah.
Till 2022, 23, until now, they don't have any heart to implement that project. Now that they are in power, I think we should see whether Congress is going to implement this project. Having said that, we very well know DMK is an ally of Congress in UPA, and at this time, we expected Congress and its spokesperson to safeguard the interest of the people of Karnataka and its farmers, and not to succumb to the pressure tactics of the DMK. See, we all know.
No, but Mr. Prasad, why did the BJP government in Karnataka move towards implementing? Because you all sanctioned, 1,000 crore rupees.
Yes,
so clearly
yes.
there was an idea, there was the will and the intent to implement.
Yeah, I have a repeated for that. See, when BJP was in power in the last term, the same Siddaramaiah, who was a leader of opposition, he rose in the assembly and he vehemently opposed when the central water resource minister Gajendra Singh Sehwakawar, he said we will intervene between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Siddaramaiah opposed that, and he said center will never implement this one. Center is not this one. Center is not going to intervene. Center is not going to help Karnataka. So this went on. Now the Congress is in power. Siddaramaiah is meeting the same water resource minister, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. DK Shivakumar is meeting Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. What is this? What is happening? Now, see, at least in this
But they
show,
have to
I
meet the
expected
union minister.
Congress.
Who else will they meet? They have to go to the union minister.
Yes.
Okay,
See,
Aishwarya.
why in the first place they had to oppose the when the central government said we will intervene between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu and try to bring it at the same platform and try to implement the project so it will be beneficial for both the states. See, now we have seen Congress is not in a mood to at least implement the project, not to safeguard. At least they are not in a position to safeguard the interest of the people of Karnataka and the farmers. And if you
Okay,
see
Aishwarya Mahadev, your response. Aishwarya Mahadev, your response. Yes.
It's like you scratch my back and I scratch yours.
All right, let her respond, please. Yes.
What is happening here?
Okay. Can I please?
Yes.
Okay. Tamanna, the idea of dialogue and diplomacy seems so lost on the BJP that me saying that we can have some sort of solution because it's an inevitability for our water rights seems to be lost on them. One. And second is, let me tell you, when I tell you all these discussions are all based on the idea of good faith, you can understand why two parties in the opposition absolutely have no faith in the center to mediate. But let me ask the BJP this. They had the
One minute. Vijay Prasad, she heard you one by one, please. Yes, please, one by one. Yes.
The BJP had the willingness to mediate when the BJP was in power. But can we ask them if they still have the same sort of political will to mediate between states that are not in their dispensation? But the larger argument is this, Tamanna. I think we're coming to a point where, yes, it's a centuries old issue. Yes, it is something that is a lot about pride and whatnot. But this is also a point where these states have to inevitably look at what can be done, because this is a long-standing problem and it is only going to get worse, and day zeros are going to get even more frequent, because I come from the backwaters of the KRS, and today what should be absolute monsoon rainy seasons, we have no water. Sowing season hasn't started, and a lot of farmers are in distress. 70 lakh hectares, I believe, is under threat because of the lack of water, and in certain sections you see massive rain. So there is a need for this to be fixed. And I really believe in good faith.
What about what your colleague from the DMK has just said, Aishwarya? Before you respond, Vijay Prasad, I want Aishwarya Mahadev's response to what Mr. Salim said on this show, because he is quoting the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who's saying, no way this dam will come. I have to represent the rights of the people of Tamil Nadu, and from their point of view, this is a bad idea.
It is in good faith for the people of Tamil Nadu to represent the aspirations of their own. It is in good faith for the people of Karnataka to look at the aspirations and the livelihoods of our own. And I believe at some point, yes, it looks like it is conflating or contradictory views. But again, in the larger term, and I do believe that a statesman like Thiru Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and all the ministers in their wisdom also will understand that there is a middle ground. The Congress also, with somebody who has led us successively from the Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, to our Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. DK Shivakumar, will come to understand, is there a middle ground that can be taken? Because again, I am going to repeat this. It is an inevitability for the water crisis that is looming. And they say wars are being fought on water now. And I do not believe that the states of South India that rally so strongly against the BJP in the center can allow this to happen, Tamanna.
Okay, quick response from Vijay Prasad before I go back to the experts. This seems like a...
Tamanna, the way the Congress person is speaking, and she is talking everything but not in the interest of the Karnataka people and its farmers. And she is talking everything but not what the current dispensation, what the current government is going to do as far as the implementing the project is concerned. That is one thing. So, having said that, see, Congress never has the intention of implementing the project. They are not talking about how they are going to implement the project. They are trying to find a middle path.
They are the one who have initiated it. I don't know why you say they are the one who have initiated it.
When did they
this
initiate?
whole fight has started again after Mr. DK Shivakumar's comments. They put it in their manifesto.
They initiated in 2013. but they were
Right.
in the power for 5 years. They did not do
Okay,
anything.
now let me go to
But when
Madhavan.
BJP
Let me
was
go to
in power,
Madhavan.
they
Let me
took
go
a-
to
they took a
Madhavan
10-day
on this.
Padayatra.
I think you're
They
making
took
the same point again, Mr. Vijay
Huh.
Prasad. You're making the same point again that you made in your first response. So let me go to Madhavan on where this goes ahead. This seems like a sort of a one of those Mexican standoffs. No
Absolutely.
political party can afford, whether they're a great statesman or not, which politician, which political party is going to stick their neck out, commit political suicide and say, let's sit across the table and make this dam happen.
In fact,
Nobody is going to do that.
I just wanted to point out to Mr. Vijay Prasad and said QED. The way there was a huge attitude issue in the tone and the tenor and the language that he used, which is what is the problem right now. Because you can discuss facts, you can discuss principles, you can discuss ideas, but when there is a certain political animosity, then there are only two ways. One is for the Karnataka government and the Tamil Nadu government to respectively go through the paces of consensus building or attempt it, so that at least there is a joint meeting of the opposition and the ruling party. So some kind of a consensus can be reached on the band within which, just like the Reserve Bank of India has a band on interest rates, we can have a band within which some solution can be arrived at. And then, as Aishwarya said, in good faith, things can be sorted out between two states. In the absence of this, the only way I can see this happening is for non-political types to play a role, either as an arbitration panel, because the Mekedatu project, as far as I can see, is a new X factor coming in, significantly disrupting the equation of the 90s, which itself was disrupted by a refusal to follow the tribunal's orders. Therefore, there has to be a bunch of bureaucrats or judges or credible academicians to actually measure this, because this is why we exist, as I often like to say in your program, because politicians do not have to think they don't understand themselves. That's a different thing. And they no longer respect the people who understand like they used to. These days,
but to be fair to everyone on this panel, including the political spokespersons, they know this issue. They know this issue. They have come with informed opinions on this issue, and I appreciate that. I want to point out to my viewers also there, where this is a departure from what you see on most shows. I have just a couple of minutes left. I want to give it to Leela Fernandes. Leela Fernandes, do you think that this dam is a good idea in the larger scheme of things?
There's no good or bad. It depends on which state's interest you're talking about. I think the issue which you see playing out is that both states desperately need the water, and it becomes politicized, and then communication breaks down. And the only way to do this in a long term, there's only two key issues. One is to find environmentally sound ways of managing states. And the second is to build institutions on a long-term basis, rather than in response to short-term political conflicts, which then become politicized. Right. And I'll say lastly, the reason that the Supreme Court steps in is because it's too difficult for political leaders to come to any kind of consensus, given how polarized this is. And the fact that the Supreme Court is called on is a demonstration of institutional breakdown. And so we need to think of long-term mechanisms that build the trust that some of the guests are talking about.
All right, so it's a complicated issue. We've tried to give you the gist of it in a very short span of time. For our viewers, and it's a much deeper issue, so admittedly there would be many facets we've not been able to cover, but I hope you've got an idea of how important this issue is, because the water wars are coming, where not just these two states, not just these two cities that we've talked about, but across India there's going to be concern about where the water comes from, and it's going to create havoc. So we need to find the solutions fast. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on the show. I'm taking a very short break. On the other side, I speak with Mr. Sanjay Nirupam. He's a Maharashtra politics veteran, and I talk to him in the midst of this next chapter of Pawar versus Pawar. I'm coming back with that interview and all the latest from today. Stay tuned.